What's up, guys? So today we're taking a look at the best pre-built gaming PCs that you can buy jumping in to 2024. And we're covering pretty much every single budget, all the way from $500 to $2,500. So no matter what price range you have set aside for your next gaming PC, you can definitely find the best option for that budget in this video. And all of this is documented in a Google Sheet. It's on the Tech Roundup website. I'll be sure to put a link to it down in the description below, and I will be continually updating this every single month for the foreseeable future. So if you maybe don't have the money set aside right now, but you do in a couple months, you'll have an updated link with all of the best pre-builts along with a video to go along with it. So be sure to get subscribed. Be sure to stay tuned to the Tech Roundup website if you maybe want to hold off for a couple months in terms of buying your pre-built PC. I'll also be doing this for custom builds as well. So the best options all the way from $500 to $2,500 in terms of custom building your own PC. So if you're looking forward to that, definitely get subscribed as well. But let's just jump in to the best pre-builts of January 2024, starting with our $500 to $750 builds. So starting off, the best option in that price range has to be the Lenovo Lock Tower. It starts at $590, and with that price point, you're getting an Intel i5-13400F, an RTX 3050, a 1-year warranty, 8 gigs of RAM, a 380 watt power supply. It's definitely not the most upgradable PC in the world, but it does have some really nice specs for a $585 price point. Now, the other two options in this price category are the NZXT Player One PC, which comes with pretty much the same specs, a slightly older generation Core i5, but a better power supply, so it should lend itself to really good upgrades down the line in terms of either a GPU or a CPU upgrade, along with a really nice 2-year warranty. And third in this category has to be the HP Victus 15 liter. It's a staple in this price point. It's got an Intel i5-12400, but it only comes with an Intel Arc A380. Now, the main reason I stuck this one in this category is that you can upgrade it to an RTX 4060 for under $700. So if you did want to maybe do a customized version of this build with a RTX 4060, you can definitely save yourself a bunch of cash, but it's not going to be the best performing in terms of temperatures or upgrades down the line. It's just not really built for that. But if you get the spec you want off the bat, maybe it's a first PC, this is a great option. But let's take a deeper dive into the Lock Tower. So this is the Lock Tower. It comes with an RTX 3050, like I mentioned. You got your 8 gigs of dual channel memory, and then we get a 500 gigabyte SSD, 380 watt power supply. So you're not really going to be able to upgrade that graphics card or the CPU to anything really that much more power hungry. And then you do get a 1-year warranty with this build as well. Overall, it's pretty locked down. It's a proprietary motherboard. You're not going to be able to change too much to this build. Maybe upgrade the graphics card a little bit to like a 3060, maybe a 4060. But overall, it's a really nice tower for the budget. At $585, it's extremely hard to get better specs at that price point. But now let's jump over to our $750 to $1,000 build. I consider this kind of the best PCs under $1,000. So first off, and this has been a staple for the channel for quite a bit of time now, probably the last few months, is the Skytech Gaming Nebula PC. This thing comes in at $850 on Amazon. We're going to do a deeper dive into this build, so I'll hold off on the specs, but it is a really good PC for that price point. Now, all these builds in this category pretty much come with the exact same hardware. An Intel i5, either a 13400 or a 12400. Then you're getting an RTX 4060, either 500 to a terabyte of storage, 600 watt power supplies for the most part. They're pretty easy to upgrade. They're all pretty much off-the-shelf components, and either a 1 or 2-year warranty. 2-year pretty much for all the NZXT builds in this buying guide. So let's do a deeper dive into the Skytech Gaming Nebula PC. So with this PC, we're getting the RTX 4060, like I mentioned. We're also getting the 13th gen i5-13400F, 16 gigs of DDR4 running at 3200 megahertz, a 1 terabyte SSD, Windows 11, Wi-Fi, all on board. And overall, like the build just looks pretty nice. You get a really nice case. You do get like a Hyper 212 cooler, so maybe not the best cooling performance, but you shouldn't really need anything crazy with that i5-13400F. Overall, it's a really, really nice build, and there's some really good reviews on this thing as well. 2,000 reviews, over 2,000 reviews at like a 4.6 star. The only thing with this build is that you can't really get it right away, so shipping is anywhere from January 12th to the 23rd, depending on your location, so it does take a little bit of time. There's a lot of people buying this PC right now, so it does take a little bit of time to ship, which is where some of the other options may come in, either the ABS PC or the NZXT Player One. They're pretty much the same PC as the Skytech for $50 more. The nice thing with the NZXT is that you do get that extra 2 years of warranty compared to the 1 year on the other builds. But that is the $750 to $1,000 price point. Let's jump up to $1,000. So for $1,000 to $1,250, these are the best PCs that money can buy. And we're going to start things off with the NZXT. Now, the thing is with this NZXT, there were some really nice price cuts during the week that have since gone away. But overall, this is still a really, really good build for the price point. Now, this is the second cheapest build within this price point, and it does come with the worst CPU, but you do get the extra 2 years of warranty. It's a super easy upgrade down the line. But overall, all these builds come with pretty much the same hardware in terms of graphics and CPU minus the NZXT. So in terms of graphics, we're looking at an RTX 4060 Ti. You can kind of see the trajectory of these builds. As we step up an extra $250, you pretty much step up an extra graphics card level. So we went from a 3050 to a 4060 to a 4060 Ti, and that trend will continue as we keep stepping up the price levels. So for the second best build, which is the Lenovo Tower 5 Gen 8, this thing is a really, really good build. Ryzen 7 7700X, RTX 4060 Ti, a terabyte SSD, 16 gigs of DDR5, only a 500 watt power supply, so you're not going to be able to upgrade until you upgrade that power supply to anything really more power hungry in terms of a GPU or CPU, and a 1 year warranty. Now, that's the best CPU out of the bunch for sure, but the price point does reflect it. For the extra $75, it might actually be worth the upgrade to the Lenovo just because you do get that 7700X compared to a 5700 in the CyberPower PC Gamer Master. So yeah, a generation older, not the X version either, but it does come with 16 gigs of DDR4 along with a 2 terabyte SSD and a 600 watt power supply. Now let's jump back to our NZXT 8 Player One Prime PC, because this is a really, really interesting deal, but it was a little bit more interesting a while back. So before the prices all changed, you could get this build for $1,264 with an i7-13700KF. Now, if you upgrade it to a KF, you're looking at $1,450. Not really worth it at that price point. But with the i5-12400F sitting at $1,199, also getting the RTX 4060 Ti, which shouldn't be too outrageous for a 12400F. You should still have enough CPU performance. You might be slightly CPU bottlenecked with the 4060 Ti, but not crazy. 16 gigs of DDR4, a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD, and a 650 watt gold power supply. So if you did want to upgrade that CPU down the line to something like a 12700 or a 12700K or even a 13700K, you could definitely do that down the line and not spend that money up front with the pre-built. So that would be a really, really good option with this build. The other really nice thing is you do get that 2 year warranty that most other PCs aren't coming with. They're mainly coming with a 1 year warranty, but with this one, you're also getting a full list of pretty much every spec that you can think of in terms of manufacturer of the motherboard, your motherboard type, which is a B760, which allows you to go up to 13th gen. But the 2 year parts and labor warranty is extremely nice with this NZXT build, and it's why it's the number one PC in the $1,000 to $1,250 price point. But if we step it up another $250 to $1,250 to $1,500, so again, at this price point, we're seeing another GPU upgrade now from an RTX 4060 Ti to the RTX 4070. And all of these builds are pretty much coming with either a 6 or 8 core CPU and generally the same amount of power supply wattage at around 6 to 650 watts. Now, the best build in this price category has to be the ABS Alien-M Aqua, a super cool looking PC, interesting case design, overall really cool components as well with the i7-13700F. So you're getting the last generation Core i7 from Intel, along with that RTX 4070. Now, the NZXT Player 2 was $1,399 at the time of filming this video, but it's since gone up to $1,599, so not the same deal that it once was, but you're getting an Ryzen 5 5600X, the RTX 4070, 16 gigs of memory, a 1TB SSD, and a 650 watt power supply, plus that nice 2-year warranty. You can get the exact same specs with a Skytech Gaming Nebula PC, $1,499, so it's $100 cheaper now than the NZXT Ryzen 5 5600X with an RTX 4070, 1TB of storage, as well as 16 gigs of DDR4, but only a 1-year warranty. So in terms of this kind of price point, the ABS is definitely the way to go. So if we take a deeper look at the ABS, again, 13700F, RTX 4070, 32 gigs of DDR5, which is a really nice upgrade to get that extra memory capacity at a $1,399 price point. Overall, this is a really good build and probably worth the $200 price hike compared to our last setup to get the extra 16 gigs of RAM, to get the RTX 4070, and to get a 13700F. So overall, this is an extremely good build. I definitely recommend it. Overall, yeah, it's tough to beat at this price point. But if we step up another $250, well, actually now $500 price range from $1,500 to $2,000, these are where it starts to get interesting. Now we're looking at, again, another GPU upgrade to a 4070 Ti. And we're also looking at, for the most part, 8-core CPUs, 13700Fs, Ryzen 7 5800Xs. But one stands out in the CPU category, and that is that number one PC in this price range, which is the iBuyPower Y40 313A, which comes with a Ryzen 9 7900X. So for the $1,750, which is the cheapest build in this price category, you get the best CPU, the same graphics card as the rest of the systems. You're getting an 800 watt power supply, a 1TB SSD, and a 1TB hard drive, where the other systems are coming with just a 1TB SSD, the same amount of power supply consumption available to it, minus the Skytech having 850 watts. And yeah, overall, it's just the best deal in this price point. So the other builds in this price range that still come close are the Skytech Gaming Azure 2 at $1,800. So for the extra $50, you're getting a 13700F instead of the 7900X. Slightly more power supply wattage, but overall, it's a very similar build, but a better CPU in the iBuyPower and possibly a better case design if you like the case setup with the iBuyPower with the height case compared to the Skytech. Now, the other build that was in this price category is the NZXT Player 2 Prime. It was $1,799, now $1,999, so not, again, as good of a deal, but you still get a Ryzen 7 5800X, the same RTX 4070 Ti, 750 watt power supply, 1TB hard drive, and that 2-year warranty. But if we take a deeper look at the iBuyPower PC, it's a really good deal right now. It's $750 off, 32 gigs of RAM, 7900X, 4070 Ti, 1TB NVMe, and a 1TB hard drive. It's really tough to beat this build at this price point. And again, it's like a really tough decision. Do you spend $200 less and get a 4070 with a 13700F, or do you spend another $200 and get that much more worth of PC? You're getting at least $200 more worth of PC with a 4070 Ti and a 7900X compared to the ABS PC at $1,399. So $250, much better graphics card, much better CPU as well, and a really good looking case design. So overall, it's a tough decision. I mean, we're really starting to get into like that Apple style price tiering where why not spend the extra $200 and get, $300-400 worth of hardware out of it. So it's an interesting dilemma, but let's jump on to our last set of PCs, and this is our $2,000 to $2,500 price point. And now we're stepping up again another graphics card tier to the RTX 4080, along with one build that has a AMD Radeon 7900 XTX, which is pretty much comparable in terms of performance. So the first build we have here is the Legion Tower 7i Gen 8 from Lenovo, 13700 KF, RTX 4080, 16 gigs of DDR5, 1 terabyte SSD, 750 watt power supply. Very, very competitive in terms of the hardware inside of this thing. But if we step up the price a little bit on the Build Redux best PC, it's just the best kind of pre-built that they make. At least it's categorized as best. And it comes with an i7 14700 KF, so the latest generation i7. Again, an RTX 4080, 16 gigs of DDR4, 1 terabyte SSD, 850 watt power supply, and a 2-year warranty. So again, if you're looking for that extra warranty, you get the extra year with Build Redux. And the last one we have is the Dell Alienware Aurora R16. Really cool case updates that Dell has made to the Alienware lineup. This one comes in at $2,500. It's got an i7 13700F, so no K, and the Radeon 7900 XTX. Plus, you're getting 32 gigs of DDR5, a 1 terabyte SSD, and a 1,000 watt power supply. So this thing's going to be the hardest to upgrade down the line for sure. It's all pretty much proprietary in terms of motherboard, power supply, all that. But if you did want to update a graphics card to like a 4090 or next gen AMD or next gen NVIDIA, you could definitely do that with that 1,000 watt power supply. There's no real need to upgrade the motherboard, no real need to upgrade the power supply. You're mainly just going to upgrade either CPU or GPU. So that is the really nice thing about this build. But let's take a deeper dive into the Lenovo Legion Tower 7i Gen 8. Now, this Legion Tower is, proprietary case to Lenovo, but it should be very upgradable down the line. Pretty much using all off-the-shelf, maybe not off-the-shelf, custom Lenovo stuff, but still ATX motherboard, ATX power supply that you can upgrade in the future if you want to. But you do get, again, the i7 13700 KF, RTX 4080, 32 gigs of DDR5 running at 5200 megahertz, that 1 terabyte SSD, a 150 watt air cooler. You can upgrade this thing to liquid cooling as well, but for the price point, it's really hard to beat. This is a limited time offer on this particular build. It's 25% off, $750 off, $2,239 for a 4080 and a 13700 KF. So again, it lends itself like the iBuy PowerY 40, 13700 KF, RTX 4070 Ti for $1,750. Now you have to spend an extra $500 to get a 4080. So now it's not as cut and dry. Now it's like, do you have the extra $500 or not? But in the other situations where maybe it's a $200 difference between these price points, but you get an upgraded tier graphics card, upgraded tier CPU, then it makes it a little bit more difficult to make these decisions. But these are the best PCs, the top 3 in every price category from $500 to $2,500. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on which ones you maybe think are categorized wrong, ranked wrong, which ones you might choose as the best in each category. So definitely leave any comments, any questions down in the description below. If you liked the video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, get subscribed to the channel. There'll be plenty more of these pre-built buying guides in the future. And yeah, check out the link to this sheet as well if you're interested in buying one of these PCs. All the links are in here, pictures, all the specs. So definitely be sure to get subscribed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.